What's up, guys? Here are my predictions for UFC Fight Night happening in Denver, Colorado this Saturday. And this card is not bad. There's some good fights in the card, some fun fights. Especially looking at the Cerrone and Perry fight, that's fun. The main event's fun. And you got some prospects to really look out for. And we're going to start with one of those fights. We're going to start with Devante Smith versus Julian Rosa. Now, many of you probably don't know who these two fighters are, especially Devante Smith, because Julian Rosa was on The Ultimate Fighter with Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber. But when you look at these two fighters, you got Devante Smith. And Devante Smith is an excellent striker. He actually does everything right. He has good wrestling as well, offensively, defensively. Very fundamental in that, has all the basics down to a T if it comes to that, but he's more of a striker. So he'll use his takedowns if they completely present themselves. If the shot is open, he'll shoot, or he'll use it if he's in some kind of trouble. But on the feet, he has a lightning fast jab, dynamic right straight, right overhand is there, left hook is there. His leg kicks are extremely fast, and I think leg kicks going to be a big advantage for him in this fight, especially Rosa, who doesn't really check kicks too much. Very long fighter as well. And Smith is absolutely amazing at redirecting, right? If he's going one way, he makes you think he's going that way, very similar to Dominic Reyes, and he will come back with a power shot out of nowhere, right? He's very quick on his feet, and he definitely has one punch knockout power. He won in the Contender Series by those Travis Brown elbows. Super explosive, and he is one of the biggest punishers I've seen out of these prospects to come into the UFC. And actually, about Devante Smith, I've been following him way back since his third professional fight. One of those guys, I was looking on YouTube, just a bunch of pro debut videos and all that sort of stuff, and I came upon Devante Smith. And before he was known as King Cage, he was known as Johnny Cage. It's kind of crazy to see him actually get to this scene, because I was always saying, if this guy keeps progressing from the skills he has already, and this is like his second or third professional fight, 100% he's going to be a top contender in the UFC pretty soon. And you got Julian Rosa, who is also a striker, doesn't really go for takedowns unless he is in some sort of trouble. Loves to keep it on their feet, make it a kickboxing bout. Extremely long. I mean, he has a 1-inch reach disadvantage, but he's 5 inches taller. So the reach is actually going to play a little bit of a factor. He has good jabs, good left uppercut, especially off a counter, and very good high kicks. But the thing about Rosa is, his defense is almost non-existent. It's all reliant on footwork. Hands don't go up, head movement is rarely ever there, and his chin is very exposed. So my prediction for this fight, I think Devante Smith is going to win via knockout in the first round. I'm telling you guys, a lot of you guys don't know who Smith is, and he 100%, he's a future top contender. Then we go to Michael Trizano versus Luis Pena. Now, this is a very interesting fight, and this is just shown to be a great card to look for promising prospects, because every prospect in this entire card has a great future in the UFC. And we look at Michael Trizano, these two guys actually came off The Ultimate Fighter, and Trizano is just very well-rounded. There's nothing too crazy about it. Nothing really stands out as something extraordinary. He does everything very well. Fundamental boxing, good trips in the clinch, sometimes good shots, but he really likes the inside trip against the cage. Good triangle chokes off the bottom, good ground and pound, good control. One of his best punches, I would say, is his left hook. He can throw leg kicks as well. Leg kicks going to be the biggest weapon for him against Pena. And when you look at Luis Pena is huge, right? He's 6'3" for a lightweight. And he's a strong 6'3" lightweight. And just like Trizano, he does everything very well. He's extremely well-rounded, but he's a southpaw. So the long range, that long stance, which leg kicks can give him a problem, but they're opposite stances. So the leg kicks from the right kick of Trizano can get checked pretty easily by Pena. So Trizano should be throwing switch kicks to the leg to also avoid the left straight of Pena, because Pena's best weapon is the jab and the left cross. And if he can throw a switch kick and move back or move on the outside of the left cross while he does it, that's a great weapon for him. Not going to be as much power, but it's going to be there to land. But Pena does everything well, right? His takedowns are amazing. He has good precise shots. His submissions, I would say, are better than Trizano's. He is very slick on top, very slick guillotines, very slick triangles, very slick arm bars. He's able to go for anything in the book on the ground. Very flexible, very long, and uses his length to great extent. He'll throw flying knees. He has great head kicks as well. Very athletic on the feet. So my prediction for this fight, I'm going to go Luis Pena. I think he could do what Trizano does, but better than him, and he's bigger and longer, as well as more athletic with everything, and I would say faster as well. So I'll go with Pena. I'll actually go by a second round submission. Then we go to Raquel Pennington versus Germaine de Randamie. This is a very interesting fight. The winner of this, I would say if Germaine de Randamie wins, probably a title shot, because there's like no one else. But Raquel Pennington, very tough. I guess you would consider her more of a brawler or a boxer with good takedown defense. She marches forward, good cardio. Her toughness is a weapon. She keeps coming even when you land these huge shots on her. She has a pretty good jab, pretty solid straight right hand, hooks on the inside. She's going to need to get this on the inside, which is going to be a problem for her. But other than that, I really don't see where Pennington is going to have that much success. The only way I see her having success is marching down, defend the shots as she's coming in, and make this a brawl. That's really the only way, because I don't think she's going to take down de Randamie. De Randamie's takedown defense is one of the best in the entire division, and her striking is eons ahead of Raquel Pennington's. I mean, we're talking about a high-level kickboxer in de Randamie with legitimate power for the division. The 4-inch reach advantage, while being 2 inches taller, that jab is going to get put in Pennington's face the entire fight. Right straight is going to be there as well. Left hook is going to be there as well. Head kicks are going to be there. Leg kicks, which Pennington doesn't really check kicks a whole lot. I'm going to go Jermaine de Randamie on this fight. She has too many weapons. Takedown defense is too much. She's too technical, too smart to get in brawls with Pennington. And she's way too fast at the end of the day. So I'm going to go de Randamie. I'm going to go by a decision. And then we go to Donald Cerrone versus Mike Perry. Many people would think the most exciting fight on the entire card. The main event's pretty crazy too, so you got Donald Cerrone, who's a Muay Thai fighter, a bit smaller in the division, but he is looking pretty big if you look at his social media. So it looks like he's putting on some size for this fight because Mike Perry's a pretty big guy, right? And he packs up a lot of power, and if he could be physical on you, it's going to be a long day or a short night. But Donald Cerrone has excellent kicks, good distance control with them. Boxing is still not his strongest point, but it's getting a lot better. He's developing that straight right hand, very good jab. But defensively, if he can get past his kicks, he gets hit by people with good hands. His kicks are his real defense, right? If he can get past those, it's tough for him. He loves to go toe-to-toe, stay in the center of the cage, and just throw punches back and forth. That's his game. But if you're able to pressure him and stay in that mid-range inside of his kicks, that's going to be where Mike Perry's going to shine. But Mike Perry also defensively not the most responsible. He's getting better with it, but he's very reluctant to take shots sometimes to land his own or get in a brawl with the opponent. And his footwork isn't the fastest, right? He's not the best at getting in distance, and that's what tells me that Cerrone might land some head kicks, some body kicks. The side kick and the push kick from Cerrone are going to be there. And Cerrone has developed pretty good takedowns in his career. Developed a very sneaky double leg, which no one ever expects. He took down Lawler and Darren Till, where nobody else is able to take those two down. I mean, even Tyron Woodley had a tough time taking down Darren Till. He couldn't even budge him. Donald Cerrone got in that sneaky double leg on him. And if Perry is too aggressive, that double leg is going to be there. And on the ground, even Perry admitted, when they train together, Cerrone is just way too high level. He's way too experienced on the ground. If it gets to the ground, Cerrone wins his fight very handily. But for Mike Perry, he's a brawler, boxes for the most part, overhands and hooks. But where he's most technical, and I would think most dangerous for Cerrone, is actually in the clinch. He has excellent with elbows, good with framing, good with wrist control, and good with hand positioning in the clinch, which is kind of shocking to see. But other than that, if they disengage and he's able to push Cerrone to the cage, he's able to just brawl with him and throw shots. So that's a very scary position for Cerrone to get in the clinch with Perry. But I'm actually going to go with Donald Cerrone. I think he's too fast on his feet. I think his footwork is still faster than Mike Perry's. I think he's able to get in distance and out of distance a lot more safely than he would some of his other opponents that he has fought. Cerrone, I think, eventually will land some head kicks, which are going to hurt Perry. Jab is going to be in his face. And the takedowns are a big thing for Cerrone. So I'm going to go with Cerrone. I'm actually going to go by a third round submission. And then we go to the main event. Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie, versus Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez coming on short notice. This fight was supposed to be with Frankie Edgar, but Frankie Edgar got injured. Korean Zombie. I mean, we're talking about one of the most exciting fighters to have ever competed in the UFC. Most people have that description about him. He is technical as well, but he will throw caution to the wind if he has to. And he is not worried at all to do that. He loves a brawl. He loves imposing his will on the opponent. He has a very good jab, very good right uppercut that he landed on Dennis Bermudez. Good straight right hand that he landed on Mark Homnick to have one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history. He has good kicks as well, but really uses his boxing when he tries to get a little bit more technical, and he is very pressuring. And in this fight, Rodriguez is of course going to allow Korean Zombie to walk him down. Rodriguez loves distance, and he loves using his kicks. Korean Zombie loves closing distance and getting to boxing. These two fighters fight at very different ranges, right? So if Rodriguez is able to be quick enough and keep it at a distance, he should be able to land those kicks and just do what he wants to Korean Zombie. But if Zombie is able to block the kicks and enter on Rodriguez and never leave that space, Rodriguez is going to be in huge trouble. Where this really gets interesting is on the ground, because Korean Zombie, it says his accuracy and takedowns is pretty good. but he rarely ever goes for them. Can he take down that long distance style of Rodriguez? Rodriguez can put himself on the back by these crazy kicks he throws. And if he does that against Korean Zombie and doesn't land flush or knock him out or something, Rodriguez is going to be in trouble. Because Korean Zombie on the ground is, you could say, more dangerous because he's more cerebral on the ground. He got the first and only twister in UFC history because of that. He is excellent with top pressure. He's always there to submit you, and he lands great ground and pound as well. Yair Rodriguez, he's a Taekwondo fighter with great kicks from the outside. He's going to be bigger than Korean Zombie, a little bit short of reach, but he's going to have a height advantage. But you have to say that Rodriguez is not going to box with Korean Zombie a whole lot. He's going to use the kicks, side kicks, round kicks, switch stances as well as he sees fit. If he can land a open side round kick, this is a very hard fight to call, as I keep thinking about it. My prediction for the fight, I'm going to go with Yair Rodriguez. I'm actually going to go by a second round TKO. The reason for this is, Korean Zombie is not defensively responsible. Even his last fight against Bermudez, he was taking shots he shouldn't be taking. Chin is straight up, doesn't bring his hands up at all. He leans away from shots. And if he does that against kicks, at the angles and the speed that Yair throws them, they're eventually going to catch him. It's going to be a matter of time. And his footwork isn't fast enough, it isn't crafty enough to thwart the constant movement of Rodriguez. But this is only saying if Rodriguez comes in not shot by that Frankie Edgar fight. So I'm going with Yair Rodriguez. I'm going to go by a second round TKO. And let's look at the betting odds really quick to see if there's anything interesting. I was hoping Devante Smith would have been an underdog, given that Rosa does have more experience, but John Gunther is about a 7-1 underdog against Davy Ramos. That is very interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. They're both very young. They don't have much experience. And to be a 10-1 favorite for Ramos, he's only 8-2, and he actually has lost twice before. John Gunther has not lost professionally. And John Gunther even beat Devante Smith. I mean, he can handle explosion and power, and he's very weird. He's very awkward when he fights, and he's extremely tough. Maybe something to look at. Maybe something to keep your eye on. Amanda Cooper versus Ashley Yoder should be pretty close. I mean, it's kind of close betting line. Amanda Cooper's a plus 135-ish. She has a real shot at winning the fight. Donald Cerrone's the underdog. I think he's actually going to win the fight. It's going to be close, though. It's going to be pretty tough, especially because Cerrone doesn't fight well when he's angry, and I'm pretty sure Mike Perry's going to try to get under his skin. The mental part, we don't know, but skills, I think he should win. I mean, you do have Macy Barber versus Hannah Cyphers, and Barber is a 4-1 favorite, and they're both very green in the sport. I mean, Barber is only 5-0, and Cyphers is 8-2, and we're talking about the women divisions as well. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I do think Barber should win the fight. She's much more technical, and she is a finisher, but when the lines are that far apart for green fighters, it's pretty tough. So those are my predictions, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe. For my next video, I'm actually going to leave my podcast until next week. It's going to come out by Tuesday, most likely. I'm also going to make a breakdown of one of the fights this Saturday, so be looking for that as well. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.